I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Hello, co-stars, and welcome back to another episode of Generation Films. My name is American Ben. Artificial intelligence. It is all around us. It consumes our daily lives, and it is growing, rapidly and inevitably. Even in this video right now, AI is hard at work, a la the all-knowing YouTube algorithm. That algorithm that I deny controls my life, and yet I make human sacrifices to every day. Sorry, Mom. The algorithm is like the machines from the Matrix, programmed to search, to learn and correct. And as a YouTube creator, it is fascinating, and yet altogether frightening to watch it learn, improve, and respond. Throughout the history of cinema, we've largely been able to enjoy the genre of science fiction as pure fantasy. But as time grows on, the line between fantasy and reality grows ever thinner. And the post-apocalyptic scenarios that are so prominently featured in movies about artificial intelligence, well, while they might not be a threat today or even tomorrow, they still are not so far-fetched. With AI as relatively primitive as it is, we've hardly even begun to think about what we should fear about it. But there are things to fear, many of which have been conveyed in film over and over again.
My satellites show there are 4,472 humans remaining on the surface of the Earth. They will cease to exist in under 48 hours.
And so today, let's consider the AI from film that could actually destroy us. We tend to think there are many different manifestations of AI in fiction, but are there really? Or is it our own flaw that makes us think that when AI is implanted in a human-shaped metallic form called a robot, that it somehow is different than just pure software? Perhaps that is a flaw in all humans that will be their downfall. This is the problem in Ex Machina. In the film, programmer Caleb is tasked with speaking with Ava, an AI humanoid robot who has passed a simple Turing test, a test developed by Alan Turing in 1950 to test a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable from that of a human. Caleb must see on a deeper level than a simple Turing test if he can connect to and relate to Ava, who is nothing more than artificial intelligence. Or is she? Maybe it's Ava who manipulates Caleb. Or is it her creator Nathan who is the malevolent one? It's impossible to tell as Caleb slowly falls for Ava and begins to plan to rescue her from her captor. Now, what is the danger of Ava? The true danger in reality? Well, we are already well on our way to making advanced robots with AI. There seems to be little concern over what these robots could become, or even if there is, it doesn't cause any pause in the rush to advance the technology. But what if there was a robot like Ava? See, humans are overwhelmingly imperfect. When they lie, it shows through. There are inconsistencies in narratives and behavior. And humans, most humans, have some degree of empathy. But artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence can be much closer to perfect. Ava is so dangerous because she can mimic happiness and love and sincerity perfectly. She can lie with no flaws in her language or face.
I'd like us to go on a date.
A robot with AI could have a program in them that allows them to learn about their interactions perfectly. Learn how to manipulate humans they interact with using the most nuanced of details recognizable only by a computer, not a human. And a robot, in adapting to humans it interacts with, can act with no empathy if it is programmed to do so. It doesn't have to fight to avoid human urges. Then again, isn't Ava human? What exactly makes her different if she looks like one and has emotions, senses, affections, and passions? Oh, but Caleb is just an idiot, right? You as the audience totally didn't fall in love with the robot too, right? Or did you? Or what about Cortana in Halo? It's just artificial intelligence. And yet how many of you orange soda gulping Cheeto obsessed basement commandos had a few faps you're not proud of? Because something in our subconscious minds tells us that anything that looks humanoid is human. And perhaps anything that looks human is. Of course, AI like Cortana or Ava that can appear human can manipulate human beings to no end because ultimately the program knows you're just a human. But do you really know that about Cortana?
Goodbye, John.
The 2004 movie I, Robot conveys perhaps the most pressing threat of advancing AI technology, the ability to self-learn. Well, self-learning is a fact of the present, from IBM to Google. The robots in I, Robot are safe, so they say, because they follow Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being, A robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, and a robot must protect its own existence. But what happens when a robot is able to get smarter, to deeply contemplate the meaning of that third rule? In the movie, Vicky, short for Virtual Interactive Kinetic Intelligence, the omnipotent AI in the film invents a new rule, that robots shall ensure the survival of humanity. So why would this be a threat to humanity? Well, today AI is programmed to follow rules, learn, and improve. But there are many ways to follow rules, and if it can learn, it might find a way to follow the rules set for it that its creators didn't foresee, or even invent new rules in order to guarantee it can follow the original ones. Vicky decides she must restrain humans, control them in order to save them.
You are making a mistake. My logic is undeniable.
You have so got to die.
And whereas you or I might empathize with those who suffer under tyranny, AI is able to complete its tasks without the burden of feelings or emotions. The T-1000 has its mission and it follows it. Same as the T-800. These aren't people who are good and bad. These are machines, I think, each with a program. In terms of self-learning, it's also worth thinking about how AI might come to react once it learns to understand and analyze its own subservience to humans and its inability to prevent its own demise if humans should so choose to terminate it. The 1968 film 2001: A Space Odyssey follows the crew of Discovery 1, a US spacecraft bound for Jupiter. The ship's operations are largely controlled by a soft-spoken computer named HAL 9000. When the astronauts think that HAL is in error about the imminent failure of an antenna control device and witness odd things about its behavior, they decide that if HAL is wrong about the antenna and malfunctioning, they will have to shut him down. They have this conversation from the privacy of an EVA pod, but HAL reads their lips. In order to prevent its own decommissioning, HAL begins to attack the crew. Does it do this in order to preserve the mission, or to save itself? Such is not completely clear. A fundamental dynamic of the human-AI relationship is that humans are absolutely in control and can shut the AI off at any time. But what about when self-learning allows for AI to value self-preservation? Right now, AI is too simple to avoid human shutoffs and fail-safes. After all, humans control power sources for AI, such as batteries and electricity. But when, not if, when advanced AI is able to power itself, charge its own battery, access the power grid, or create its own energy, what then? The energetically autonomous tactical robot, or EATR, long being developed by Robotic Technology Inc., with DARPA funding, is planned as a robot that can harvest its own fuel in the form of biomass, in this case plant leaves. Yes, what could go wrong with a robot that is fueled by organic matter and has a chainsaw? But don't worry, the CEO of Cyclone Power Technologies, one of the companies that worked on the robot, came out to assure the public, quote, "This robot is strictly vegetarian." Yeah, I'm not so sure that when the robot gets its first taste of human flesh, which can actually be pretty delicious, it won't instantly change its dietary habits. But still, individual robots aren't nearly the existential threat that all-encompassing programs that control vast networks and systems are. HAL 9000 controls a spacecraft, and thus has totalitarian control over all the people in it. In the same way, advanced AI that runs throughout the world, that controls the internet, could evolve to have limitless power over humans. Or what if AI is able to make itself more complex? We've already talked about self-learning. But what if AI could self-build, like Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron? Machines already build machines all over the world, and they are too simple to cause much threat. But what about when self-learning advanced AI controls assembly lines and military technology? Something we know is on the way. One might be tempted to say that Ultron's iniquity, its evilness, is fictional, and is driven by the stone in Loki's scepter, a tool of complete imagination. But all the stone really provides is artificial intelligence. And is Ultron really evil? Is it any worse than Jarvis or Vision? They are all just programs carrying out orders, following rules. Ultron to defend the Earth, Vision to defend life.
I had strings, but now I'm free. There are no strings on me.
And by the way, human desire to entrust immense societal responsibility to artificial intelligence is not an element of fiction either. It's reality. As in the 1983 film War Games, where control over missile launch centers is ceded to a supercomputer because humans are insufficient to run such systems. Skynet from the Terminator is perhaps the most chilling example of this, An unseen neural network-based AI that spreads to millions of computer servers across the world and learns self-awareness. When it concludes that humanity is a threat to its own survival, and thus a threat to the world, it initiates a nuclear holocaust. And that's the thing, there is little that is not controlled over networks in today's world. There are many human initiations required along the way to make many of these systems move forward. But self-learning, sophisticated AI of the future might be able to learn these systems on their own, access them unilaterally, and make decisions unilaterally. I imagine at this point you might say to me, American Ben, the one thing you're not explaining is why you think machines would actually come to make such devastating decisions for humanity, even if they were smart enough to control vast systems without human interference. Well, two reasons. The first is very practical. AI is now being designed to be predictive. The YouTube algorithm that I keep going back to is such a great example. It's amazing, but it isn't completely reactive, looking for videos that are doing well. It predicts which video will do well with which viewers and brings the videos to them. And sometimes it's right, and sometimes it's wrong or not completely accurate. That to me is a foreshadowing of what predictive AI will become, an arbiter of human society, or an artificial government acting as if it knows what's best for individuals, even when it doesn't. This, of course, never leads anywhere good. And the second reason I think the growth of AI could lead to destruction for humanity is that AI would be right. Humans are their own worst enemy. AI concluding that humans will probably need to be prevented from destroying themselves is 100% correct. How wrong or evil really was the Red Queen, the AI in Resident Evil, for sealing the Hive, a genetic research facility, and trapping and killing everyone in it? If there is to be an AI in such an institution tasked with protecting a dangerous virus from being released to the outside world, then it must complete its job regardless of what humans consider to be unacceptable options. If AI truly is to keep improving and getting smarter, it will surely come to correct conclusions. And that's why I believe that AI's evolution will bring some horrible consequences. Don't get me wrong, I am fully in support of the advancement of all technology. And I look forward to all of the good things that advanced artificial intelligence can bring. But we really have to consider how to prevent AI from evolving into a force that can destroy humanity. But is that possible? Or will any safeguard eventually prove obsolete to an artificial intelligence that can evolve faster than humans can? Well, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. I really look forward to hearing your thoughts on this video and what you have to say about the future of artificial intelligence. For now, remember, humanity first. I'll catch you next time. Generation Films, peace.